friends, welcome to our Q&A panel. We are orientation advisors. We are just here to support your transition into the university. And so we just want to answer a few questions. Today, we're going to be talking about campus life after COVID. I think this is definitely a weird time for all of us. It's been interesting. And so we want to kind of familiarize you guys with some student involvement and make you feel welcome and comfortable being on our 40 acres. So we're going to go around and introduce ourselves. We're so happy to be here, and we look forward to seeing you guys on campus and welcoming you to the Longhorn family. I am Natalie Pettis. I go by she, her pronouns. I'm a rising sophomore, and I am a communications and leadership major from Harlingen, Texas. I'm going to pass it on to Jorge.
Hey guys, I'm Jorge. I'm a second-year chemical engineering major. I use pronouns he, him. I'm from San Antonio, Texas, and I'm super excited to be answering y'all's questions today.
Hi everyone, my name's Gabby. My pronouns are she, her. I'm from Waco, Texas, and I'm a third-year human development and family sciences major. And I'm very happy to be here today.
Hey y'all, I'm Johnny. I'm a second-year unspecified business major, pronouns he, him. I'm from Sugar Land, Texas, which is in the Houston area, and I am so excited to be answering some of y'all's questions today.
Hello everyone, I'm Alexis. I am a fourth-year economics and French double major from San Antonio, and I'm also excited to be here.
Hello everyone, my name is Danielle. I use they, she pronouns. I'm also from San Antonio, Texas, and I am a third-year psychology and sociology double major.
That's awesome. We are also excited to be here. We love it. So we're going to be going through some questions, and hopefully you'll get to take away some of our advice from this. So the first question we want to kind of talk about and give you some of our advice on is, how can I get to know new people in such an interesting time? So my friend Gabby and I are going to answer this question. So one thing I will say is that you're here at UT for a reason. Everyone is driven. Everyone is, here to study, to go to class, get good grades. And so you'll be surprised at how easy and natural it feels to talk to other Longhorns. And so a lot of the bonds that you'll build during your time here at UT Austin is going to be a lot of talking to people in your classes, when you're walking through Speedway and you maybe see someone wearing the same shirt as you and you're like, hey, like throwing up the horns. Also, there's so many places to sit at on the 40 acres and at UT. So definitely in between classes, maybe you have a 30-minute hour break, go sit down, pop open your computer, and you'll never know, someone maybe across the picnic table from you that you can chat with and stuff. And then definitely building those study groups in your classes. Look to your left, look to your right. There'll be students sitting next to you, say, hey, where are you from? And after class, maybe talk to them about building a study group. But it will definitely come natural. But I do advise you, if you're nervous, that is okay. It is okay to feel nervous. But I promise you, everyone is so nice and loving here at UT. Gabby, did you want to add to that?
Yeah, so on a similar note, I also agree that it's super not easy, but there's a lot of ways to meet people. Like the campus has so many events, there's student orgs that put on events. Anything that you're interested in, you can find someone who's also interested in that. And I just feel that it's important to know what you're looking for and just do things that feel safe and comfortable for you. And at the end of the day, something will find you. So don't be too stressed out about finding a place, because you already belong here. So that's all that I have.
Yes, Gabby, you were so right that you belong here. Go to activities. There's so much to do on campus. Do what makes you feel safe and have fun while you're here. The next question we want to kind of talk about is, how can you get involved with student organizations? Because there are literally so many. Jorge, Johnny, do you want to take this one over?
That is right. There are so many student organizations. But one way you can kind of get involved with student organizations, kind of definitely check out when they're set up on campus along Speedway, or during our Longhorn welcome that happens the week during the start of the school year. There's definitely going to be many opportunities to ask student organizations about their involvement on campus, as well as how students themselves can get involved and actively participate in those organizations. Like as Natalie mentioned, there's a ton of organizations that students can get involved in, and there's several different ways that students participate with the campus. But yeah, Johnny, did you want to add something?
Yeah, absolutely. So that's definitely a great way to find them, but I know there's going to be so many orgs out there, like there are hundreds and hundreds of them. So a really great resource you can use to kind of filter through those, it's called Horns Link, like Horns Link. And you can go there. It's a website that UT made, and it has a list of all of the current organizations that are on campus right now. You can sort them by types of orgs. You can find descriptions of each of them and actually apply online to them. And it's super, super useful to find, like maybe you didn't find something you wanted during the in-person events, or you found one and you want to learn a little bit more about them. It's a great resource. They also have another tab called the events tab, where all of the organizations post their events that they're actually going to and hosting. So it's another great way you can get involved. Go see them in person, maybe just a little bit more than tabling off Speedway, just to see if you really gel with the group. But definitely a great resource, highly recommend. I'm still using that to look through, see all the new orgs that are coming out there. But yeah, I'm going to pass it back to Natalie.
Yeah, thanks, Johnny. I thank you for plugging Horns Link. That's definitely a great resource, especially coming into UT, because you're like, where do I even start? So many clubs. Horns Link, we got your back with that one. So we are talking about campus after COVID, because this was such an interesting time. One thing we do want to talk about is how can you guys stay safe while also being active and interacting on campus? I think, staying safe is also very important during this time, but still connecting, building those connections, staying involved on campus. Danielle, Alexis, this is all you.
Yeah, so one thing I like to keep in mind is that, personal choice. Me personally, I like to continue to social distance when I'm on campus, when meeting new people. So if that's something you feel the need to do, definitely do that as well. If that's completely up to you. Other students may choose not to, and that's also completely fine. So just meeting new people, if you feel brave enough, definitely ask for people's numbers if you like them, so you can make a group chat and plan like in-person hangouts afterwards, or even virtual hangouts if that's something you're more comfortable with. But yeah, definitely trying to stay as safe as possible, but also still trying to make friends and make those connections on campus is super important. Whatever safe means to you, that's completely fine as well.
Yes, I totally agree. And something else that I'll add is, like, for me, I just let people know that I'm vaccinated so they feel a little bit safer hanging around me. And then also don't be afraid to plan any socially distanced events or attend any, because you have to remember that orgs have been inside all year, just like you, and they're ready to get out there, and they're so ready to meet y'all and have you join their organizations.
Yeah, no, that's awesome, Alexis, definitely. So Johnny and I will be taking over this next question about what are some things that you learned from learning virtual this past year, which, I know that most things will be going back to in person, but there will be some online classes. And so I know you're probably so sick of them, but there are definitely some ways to shine through and show your passion through a Zoom screen. And all of us can, I know, speak on this. And so one thing I want to say is that taking a Zoom call, of course, you can be anywhere. We don't know, you can be in Greece for all we know, but I would stray away from doing it in a setting where things could be chaotic. Maybe in a main space where you're with your family, or if you're in your sorority fraternity house in the main room where everyone's just so put yourself in an environment where you can be active and be a listener, and show your professor that you're genuine, and that will intentionally shine through, whether it's on a Zoom screen, the same way that'll show through in real life. You can show that through a Zoom screen. And so if you showcase that you are engaged and that you genuinely want to learn, you'll find that you can still make those authentic connections on Zoom and with your professors and your peers. And so just in all, when it's obvious that you are putting in effort and you have your Zoom screen on, that you're actively listening, your professors will notice that. I promise you they will. And it's such a good way to also see your other peers that have their Zoom screen on, and maybe that's a way that you can pick some study group members. Yeah, Johnny, did you want to add to that?
Yeah, definitely. Another thing I learned this year that's going to be applicable no matter how you're taking classes is the importance of separating home and work life. I know it was really difficult for me. I was in my apartment. I had my computer set up in my bedroom. I did all of my work from there. And as soon as I was done, I would hop right into watching YouTube, playing games, doing whatever. And that honestly really was not the best decision, just because it made work harder because I wanted to go play. But then when I was relaxing, it was weird because that's where I do my work and I couldn't really fully relax. So I didn't figure that out until a lot later than I would care to say, but definitely figured that out now. I'm going to be separating those two things, even if that just means like bringing your laptop into the next room over, or just separating it any way you can. It's super, super important just for your own mental health and to help your work ethic. But if you can't find a place, like I know if you're in your dorm room, it's going to be a little bit more difficult because you just have that one room. That's exactly what the rest of campus is for. There's so many places around campus that you can study. Just to name a few, there's PCL where you can study by yourself or with other people. There's the Texas Union Building where you can find some nice quiet places by yourself. Bunch of tables outside off of Speedway. But I'll leave the rest to you. I know it's really fun walking around campus and finding new places to study, maybe that other people haven't found, so you can get a nice quiet spot by yourself. But definitely really important to separate that work and home life. And I'll pass it back to you, Natalie.
Yeah, thanks, Johnny. That is really awesome. That's a great tip that I also struggled with and probably learned a lot later, was to separate that. So yeah, I think a lot of students are feeling nervous about socializing in person. I know, these past few months, things are slowly getting back to normal, which is good, but we have been in a year of isolation. And so some students still are kind of in that phase, and it can be nerve-wracking socializing in person. Jorge, Danielle, do you have any advice for those students?
Yeah, so just like you, everyone is coming out of this virtual world, and meeting new people can kind of be nerve-wracking, but I guarantee you that everyone's feeling the same way and adjusting back to this normalized world. So starting with small steps is definitely a good approach, and getting to meet new people. A simple hey or a hook 'em or something like that can actually go a long way. And there's absolutely no rush in meeting people. So one thing to remember is that not everyone here on campus is going to be a complete stranger to you. If you see a fellow friend, a fellow orientation advisor like us from your orientation session, make sure to go up to them, say hi to them. Small things like that can spark a conversation and can be less intimidating in starting socializing back again into this world.
Yeah, going off of what Jorge said, I definitely have been telling my orientees that I'm their for lifers. Like, they can always come up to me, and I'm gonna be with them for the rest of their lives, like just asking how they are. But other thing, just don't be afraid to step out of your comfort zone, even just a little bit. I'm very introverted, and socializing and introducing myself is very hard for me. So something I always think about, and that I find helpful, is telling myself that initial conversation and introductions are hard for everyone, and it's super awkward for everyone as well. And there's probably someone out there that is like waiting for another person to be brave enough to say hey first. So yeah, just don't be afraid to take that first step. It promise won't be as awkward as you think it's going to be.
Yes, Danielle, I so agree with that. If you see us on campus, say hey. I promise it'll mean the world to us. But taking that leap, making that initial conversation, saying hey, it's not as scary as you think. But kind of the last question that we wanted to talk about with you guys is how has UT as a university supported students through COVID-19? Gabby, Alexis, do you want to talk about how UT has given us some of those resources?
Yes, of course. So one of the resources that I really liked during this time was the Protect Texas Together app. It was an app designed specifically for the UT community. It has like COVID statistics, how many confirmed cases there are in Austin, at UT. It was just really helpful. It really gave me peace of mind, like at least I know everything that's going on. It also had resources about how to take part in the PCT testing offered. And another thing to mention is just that UT served as a vaccination hub for Travis County during the spring, and they were a big part in contributing significant research during the time of the pandemic.
Yes, and also like for students, they were very great at providing need-based financial aid periodically throughout the year and a half of quarantine and online classes. So even if you weren't on campus, UT was kind of looking out for you. And then also sending surveys about their response to COVID-19 and asking how we'd like to see campus adapt and kind of getting to evaluate all the support that they were trying to give us. And so they definitely were trying to hear students' opinions still, even though everybody was all over the world this past year. And I just felt supported, I'd say.
Yeah, thank you guys for that. Yeah, definitely. UT has a vaccination hub. Use that for your to your advantage and supporting the broader community. And yeah, we definitely have a lot of resources to offer to you students. So that was our last question, y'all, and even more of an ending. This is our last Q&A panel. We've done quite a few of these, and so we definitely encourage you to look back on some of those. A lot of our OAs gave some great advice that we definitely want you to kind of carry on into your UT experience. You can check those out at our UT orientation YouTube page, and then on our Facebook group UT25. That's another place that you can find our Q&A panels. But one of the last notes I wanted to end on is that you made it. You're a Longhorn. Like, this is official. You are a part of a broader, greater family of alumni, of awesome people, of a university full of amazing people. And we just want to reiterate that you belong here. This is your new home. You belong here. You are so loved. You are officially a part of an amazing group of people, and we can't wait to see what you do and who you become during this time. And we just want you to know that we are here for you. New Student Services is ready to support you in anything you do. Reach out and hook 'em horns. We were so glad to talk to you today, and reach out if anything. We'll see y'all later. Hook 'em.